As back-to-back storms keep hammering the eastern U.S., parts of West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky are now facing yet another round of flash flooding. Entire neighborhoods have gone from dry to underwater in under an hour, again.
Ohio Valley Mutual Aid, which is associated with Indivisible,
For residents still trying to recover from the last deadly storm, it's not just the water that's overwhelming, but the question: how do you rebuild when the next disaster hits before cleanup even starts? In northern West Virginia, the Wheeling area was hit particularly hard late Thursday night. Up to 2 inches of rain fell in a short span, causing creeks to overflow and transforming city streets into surging rivers. The Elm Grove neighborhood bore the brunt of the flooding. The West Virginia Emergency Management Division shared a striking image: a measuring tape submerged in floodwater, accompanied by the caption, "From dry as a bone to 5 inches in 45 minutes."
Trailers just running right through our kitchen. Just considering that
In Triadelphia, a small town of just 660 residents, the impact was tragically familiar. 7 of the victims from the previous flood had been swept away in rapidly rising waters. The latest identified victim was 83-year-old Sandra K. Parsons, whose body was recovered from the Ohio River earlier this week. The June 14th flood had dropped nearly 4 inches of rain in just 40 minutes, causing millions of dollars in damage, destroying roads, and prompting dozens of rescues. As the community began to clean up and rebuild, Thursday's storm brought renewed devastation. Now, waterlogged homes and businesses face the daunting task of starting over, again. In Dayton, Ohio, flash floods stranded vehicles on waterlogged roads. Claire DeHood was driving her children to dinner when her car became submerged in more than a foot of water along Woodman Drive. It happened so fast, you couldn't see anything, she recalled. Her vehicle stalled mid-road, and first responders quickly shut down the area as water surged over curbs and into surrounding neighborhoods. But the chaos wasn't limited to Ohio and West Virginia. Further south in eastern Kentucky, communities braced for impact as the storm system continued its overnight assault. Torrential rain pummeled areas of Breathitt, Perry, and Knott counties, regions still reeling from last year's catastrophic floods. Within minutes, creeks surged past their banks, triggering flash flood warnings across much of the region. In Hazard, Kentucky, rescue teams mobilized to assist residents trapped in their homes as water levels rose at alarming speed. Several mobile homes on the city's outskirts were inundated, forcing occupants to seek safety by climbing onto furniture or into attics while awaiting rescue. As of Friday morning, local officials confirmed no fatalities, but damage assessments remain ongoing. Photographs from Perry County depict highways buckled from the force of the water, vehicles floating in parking lots, and small bridges completely washed out. For many, the scene evoked painful memories of the deadly flooding in eastern Kentucky just a year ago, which claimed more than 40 lives. As the storm system continued moving eastward, widespread power outages followed. More than 20,000 homes and businesses lost electricity across the multi-state region.
Here. First in the morning, I was helping distribute things. and collect donations.
In McDowell County, West Virginia,
Donation site,
where poverty and outdated
now
infrastructure
is
already
putting
pose
up
daily challenges.
floors and
Fallen trees
walls
and downed power lines rendered entire neighborhoods inaccessible. Emergency crews worked through the night to clear debris and check on isolated residents, many of whom still lacked power and running water from the previous storm.
And it's here.
Meteorologists attribute these back-to-back extreme events to a volatile atmospheric setup. Record heat, high humidity, and a stalled frontal boundary have combined to produce one slow-moving thunderstorm after another. In some areas, rain totals approached 5 inches in under an hour. The National Weather Service continues to warn of additional rainfall in the coming days. With the ground already saturated, the risk of landslides in hilly and mountainous regions remains dangerously high. Flood watches are still in effect across West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. Local leaders across all 3 states are urgently calling for increased federal assistance. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and emergency officials in Ohio have all submitted disaster declaration requests to expedite aid and support long-term recovery. Yet amid the destruction, one thing stands out: the resilience of the communities affected. In Wheeling, volunteers swiftly re-established food stations for displaced families. In Hazard, neighbors helped elderly residents to safety. And in Triadelphia, where sorrow weighs heavy, residents gathered to lay flowers at a local memorial where the names of flood victims continue to be added, names that now include more pain but no less unity.
What's up down there?
With more rain forecast, the message from officials is stark and unwavering. The danger is far from over. First responders are urging residents in low-lying or flood-prone areas to remain alert and prepared. Roads may appear safe, but may conceal perilous currents beneath the surface. In times like these, every act of caution has the potential to save lives. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dive reports on real-time weather events happening around the world. Stay safe, stay alert, and we'll see you in the next one.